Yes, say something about you, Nisha.
I am Nisha, sir. I was born in Bhiwani district of Haryana. I have done my schooling from there only. Then I did my graduation in history and political science from Miranda House College of University of Delhi. My father is assistant substation attendant in DHBVN and my mother is a homemaker. In my free time, sir, I love to do mehendi designing, yoga and trekking. And this is my first attempt at civil services examination.
You just reached.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you attended Adventure and Nature Studies camp at Dobi conducted nature study camp. What does it mean?
Sir, in nature study camp, we go in the Himalayas. We study different ecology there, different types of plants. So the camps were organized at different locations, sir. So we used to trek that particular locations to reach our greatest height then.
What is the difference between adventure and tourism?
Sir, adventure is a type of tourism, sir. And it is gradually evolving and taking concrete shape. And recently, sir, adventure sports is also included in Tokyo Olympics.
What is One Stop Center?
Sir, One Stop Center is an initiative by Government of India in which the women who are victimized of violence and domestic violence and other criminal activities, they are provided shelter in these One Stop Center. So they are decentralized One Stop Center where women can approach for rehabilitation and for care, sir.
In case of this triple talaq recently in Muslim, now there is a deterrent now. Will it really be effective and improving the life of Muslim women?
Yes, sir. I believe that it would help improving the status of Muslim women. Sir, it is one of a progressive step to address the discriminatory practices. And sir, it has created a precedent through legal mechanism, but social mechanism are also created so that awareness about it reaches to the ground level, sir.
There is a talk of increasing age for marriage to the women also, that is to 21. Is it a right step?
Sir, equal age for both boys and girls will create equality between the genders. So it is a right step because we are gradually moving toward a progressive society and women are leading in different spheres of life. Their education, health standards are also improving. So I believe it would be a good direction, sir.
Generally, it is perceived that women mature little early, and that's why the age of difference of marriage is there. So don't you think that it may not be a right step?
Sir, education levels may be positively impacted because women are participating in economic activities, so that would create an equal field for both boys and girls, sir. And sir, the discrimination regarding maturity, that woman matures early, sir, that notion is also gradually changing, sir.
Yes. And secondly, women will get a little more time to have their career also. They can study, they can employ. In UP, recently there was a change of policy changes there about that family. And it was not so much accepted by Bihar. Situation is almost same. Now, why Bihar is not accepting it, and why UP has come up first instead of Government of India should have come up first?
Sir, more of so coercion does not work that effectively as family planning with constructive engagement works. Sir, global examples have also proved it. So more of female education, better healthcare opportunities would work better, sir. And fertility levels are already decreasing. So we have to increase on that front. However, sir, population do increase economic burden and burden on natural resources. However, in the longer term, that could be have some negative aspects as well, sir.
No, what in UP, it is not said that you don't have more children, but only for education and services preference will be given, or only two-child norm will be followed. So they are not, that is not a coercive method that you should not have more children.
Sir, incentives can have positive impact, sir, but certain aspect of it are exclusionary. For example, welfare mechanism.
Yeah, but is it not related to fertility rate of the states?
Yes, sir, it is related to the fertility rates of the state, sir. But, sir, more incentivization of education, health are also have to be accompanied with these measures as
Now,
well.
China is also thinking of increasing number of children per family.
Yes, sir.
What is the reason?
So the one child policy has some devastating effect on their demographic structure. So they have to revise their policy.
But China, even if they have one child norm, even then the population is increasing.
Sir, the one child policy has also created some unwanted girls and they are sent to orphans, the orphanage homes. So that, sir, gender inclusion may also be adversely affected, sir. And sir, despite one child norm, sir, the population is gradually moving toward a more, so dependency ratio has increased in China. So
Recently in Afghan, women took the arms in the hand and walked against Taliban. How do you see about it?
Sir, the situation in Afghanistan is very unfortunate, and the violence there is against the humanitarian values of peaceful settlement in Afghanistan. Sir, the social milieu of the state is changing, sir, and the youth there are dissatisfied with the present regime. So these are the repercussions of a violent society that woman has to take up arms, sir.
In India, last year there was an law that citizens from Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan will be given the citizenship to the India. Afghanistan was earlier never a part of this India. Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh both were part. Why Afghanistan has been included into that particular list?
Sir, there are certain religious minorities which are affected adversely there. So it is about including them in our citizenship. So it is more of a affirmative action for those religious minorities. So it is inclusionary in nature, and sir, it is we have been open to that religious minority because sir, the official state of Afghanistan is a Islamic state, sir, Islamic Republic. So that way, sir, it is providing opportunity to the religious minority persecuted there to India, sir.
Why Kurukshetra was chosen as the battle for Mahabharata?
Sir, the geoclimatic factors could be one reason because the rainfall there does not adversely impact the nature of geography there. So climate battles are easily fought in the Panipat and Kurukshetra area, sir. Sir, for more about it, I'll go back and read, sir.
Who was Miranda?
Ma'am, Miranda was one of the character in the Shakespeare play Tempest, and she was also the daughter of the founders, ma'am, Sir Maurice Goyer, and she was one of her favorite actress also named was Miranda, ma'am. So there are three factors related to it.
Yeah, so more to do with the fact that of course she was the daughter of the founder. Okay, very good. You did BA program or honors?
Ma'am, BA program.
BA program. And what were the subjects? History, political science and?
Ma'am, two main disciplines.
Two main subjects?
And every semester we were given choices in different subjects. So I took other disciplines as well.
Okay, okay. Which were the other disciplines?
Ma'am, economics, Hindi, English.
Hindi, English were compulsory?
Yes, ma'am. So in GE I took economics.
In economics?
Yes, ma'am. General elective.
Okay, very good. You said that you won a essay competition on Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. So what exactly did you express in that essay?
Ma'am, it was more of a social awareness through more behavioral messages were there, that how do we celebrate girl child and what are the legal mechanism for doing so, and how would this scheme would create further roadmap to achieve a gender inclusive society, ma'am.
Okay, so in Haryana, did this slogan help?
Yes, ma'am. It has created a huge impact, ma'am. Starting from the material benefits, the child sex ratio has improved from 834 to 920. Further, ma'am, the gender education enrollment for girls have increased. Thirdly, ma'am, the behavioral movement has reached to the grassroots level. The Panchayati Raj Institute have created several movements. For example, the Khap Panchayats in Bibipur, Satrol Khap, have created slogans wherein more of, for example, dowry is disfavored in those states, ma'am. Further, ma'am, states have also provided Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, Aapki Beti, Hamari Beti, financial assistance is also provided. And ma'am, there are panchayat level Gudda Guddi boards, whereas registration of girl child and boys are done there. So the movement has reached to the grassroots level, but further initiatives have also to be taken.
Why it becomes an agenda of all the political parties or people to talk about women's empowerment? Why so much work? Do you really think it's required?
Ma'am, the politicization becomes an issue, ma'am. For example, the violence against women, sometimes the political parties leverage it for their political mobilization. However, ma'am, if it is increasing the awareness of the people, it is creating a democratic socialization, whereas the agenda has become gender inclusiveness. So that is a positive aspect, ma'am.
No, but as a woman, what do you think about it? Because the first question which comes into your mind, that everywhere you go, people talking about, is it really required or not?
Yes, ma'am, it is required so that when we talk about it, the engagement space is provided, wherein the taboos are addressed. So it is creating a healthy space for discussion and deliberation, ma'am.
And we do feel that women are not enjoying the kind of position which is required or which is expected. So therefore, it is important for us to talk about it.
Yes, ma'am, because through discussion we address the issues, and ma'am, we are still to reach that milestone wherein equal society is created in terms of opportunities, ma'am. So yes, ma'am, it would help in that direction.
Okay. What is the first thing which comes into your mind when we talk about women's work participation?
Ma'am, the labor force participation rate of women is very low. It is around 22 to 24%. So we are depriving a very huge section of our population to economic opportunities. The reason could be varying, ma'am, in terms of education, in terms of skill.
Work. I'm not talking about education or any other parameter. I'm just talking about work. What is, women's participation in labor force,
yes,
or
ma'am.
women as a labor force?
Ma'am, in the rural hinterland, many of the women are engaged in agriculture production, but they do not have land resources in their name, and that deprives them of economic credit resources. And ma'am, land, I believe, is a very important source for empowerment. Coming to the service sector, ma'am, women have performed well in terms of IT industry, and ma'am, media and sports are also emerging field for women. Ma'am,
what about class differences? Upper class, middle class women, low class women, is there any difference?
Yes, ma'am. There we call it intersectionality within the woman inclusion, ma'am. So the lower caste, Dalit class women are facing more discrimination compared to the upper class women, ma'am. So that discrimination, for example, self-help groups is an excellent initiative to include the lower caste women. Ma'am, Dhan Lakshmi is an initiative under budget which tries to promote self-help groups at the lower level, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, you need to explain in terms of that, what is the percentage of participation of the upper class women, then the middle class and the low class, instead of talking about all the policies and the programs which are differentiated in terms of classes. You just try and form a better expression of these things. What is the difference between debate and declamation?
Ma'am, in debate we analyze both the pros and cons of a certain topic, ma'am, and it is the format that is generally accepted. In declamation, ma'am, it is more about using slogans to influence the public and to create an emotional understanding of the topic. So declamation may not necessarily include the pros and cons of a certain topic, ma'am.
Okay. Last question. Why do you want to get into services?
Ma'am, civil service is a very prestigious job opportunity, and the initial motivation came from my family, ma'am. And the motivation was also provided from certain bureaucrats at my early school days, ma'am. when I analyzed more about it, the choice became more concrete, ma'am, because it is a very dynamic job opportunity. And further, ma'am, one gets to impact the life of so many people. So that also creates a personal and professional satisfaction. So it is very appealing to me, ma'am, and it is one of the mechanism to empower us.
What is the status of Khap Panchayats?
Sir, the Supreme Court has called them illegal bodies when they take up the judicial functions of the administration, sir. So there are certain allegations regarding when they give their diktats against women. However, sir, in recent times, we have seen some constructive engagements of the Khap Panchayats. So, in my understanding, sir, the constructive work has to be promoted and the illegal functions that they do must be discouraged.
What was the basic difference between the thought of Kautilya and Machiavelli?
So, the anachronistic difference is there because both are situated to different centuries. Secondly, sir, both talked about the importance of state, importance of discipline for welfare of the people. Certain differences exist in terms of the application of those principles. Sir, Kautilya gave elaborate principles of how do the measures would be implemented. For example, he gave elaborate understanding of state, the different Saptang theory. So he talked about Swami, Amatya, and so on and so forth, sir. However, Machiavelli does not give so much elaborate discussion about it. He just talks about sovereignty of the state and how it is separated from religion. Thirdly, sir, welfare notion of state is a very central theme of Kautilya, where he talks about that the welfare of the people is the central notion for welfare of the king.
We are celebrating or we commemorating 75th year of Indian independence. What has been the achievement of India till now?
The greatest achievement of India since last 75 years is the strengthening of its democratic principles, sir. We are a welfare society and we are gradually moving towards it. Sir, secondly, and sir, our democracy has faced certain challenges during emergency time and we overcome it with more of the democracy reached to more levels, sir. Secondly, sir, we have improved in terms of literacy, in terms of economic empowerment and health.
Okay. What should be your priority areas?
The priority areas varies from region to region. However, overall, I believe education, health, job opportunities and economic growth are something that we need to work upon urgently, sir.
What is your view on simultaneous elections in India?
It can be a good initiative, sir, considering that there is a lot of cost involved in conducting election every year, sir, because sometime every alternate or every year there is state election coming in. That creates a huge burden on the administration and costs are also increased because the work done by the government employees kind of comes to halt in that state. So it could cut the cost. However, sir, we need to ensure that the parliamentary principles are strengthened and the states have to be taken into communication.
When we talk about simultaneous elections, basically, you are towing the government line or not government, what the Prime Minister is saying. But it is not that the things are always practical. Simultaneous elections, one view is that it is not practical because of the formation of coalition governments in the country.
Yes, sir.
So then,
sir, how the idea would be implemented is something that we have to discuss more about. So
that is what your view should. I asked you what your view. You are favoring it, but have you not thought that okay, if there is a coalition government, if the government loses majority in a state or even at the central level, obviously you have to go for elections. So the very purpose of simultaneous elections will be lost.
Sir, the Niti Aayog has suggested that we can group the states into two groups. So whenever coalition government falls in certain states, sir, that can be merged with the other groups, sir. So
what are the two groups that it had suggested?
Sir, it hasn't specified the groups, but it suggests.
यही तो हवा में बात है ना. It is also an utopian idea. It is not that whatever the Niti Aayog will say will be correct.
Yes, sir, but
Obviously, it will toe the government's line.
sir, discussion is going about this idea, and sir,
As an administrator, if you are to give your view to the government, how to rationalize it, then what will be your view?
sir, I have to read more about it, sir.
Can you tell us what are the prospects of Indo-US relations in the future?
Sir, as suggested by some scholars, that India-US relation is going from estranged to engaged democracy. So we are two states that believe in certain common values, for example, democracy. Sir, our relation has reached a strategic depth in terms of trade, in terms of military agreements, for example, Comcasa, Sir-Lemoa, all these agreements have been signed. Thirdly, sir, with the changing global power structure, where the power is shifting from transatlantic to Indo-Pacific, importance of Indo-US relation increases further, and that are sir, materialize in forms of Quad, in terms of other groupings, for example, Blue Dot Network, to increase infrastructure investment. So, and in terms of technology also, sir, we have certain convergences. So there are more convergences than divergences, sir, and both states.
Thank you.
Can you tell us that what is this new Quad all about?
Yes, sir. So the new Quad includes 4 countries: Pakistan, US, Uzbekistan and Afghanistan. It is about to create more trade cooperation between the 4 and to achieve peace in those in the Central Asian region, sir. The concerns of India is that Pakistan is there and it may hamper relation of India with Afghanistan. So, sir, the concerns is that why India is not included in that, because India is a very important player in this region, sir. However, sir, there are certain other forums where India could communicate its concerns, sir.
Okay, as we are talking about the Afghanistan and all these issues, recently, just a couple of days back, China and Pakistan foreign ministers meet has happened, and there they have decided that the China-Pakistan economic corridor might be extended to Afghanistan.
Yes, sir.
Now, India is into a very sticky kind of situation. If India opposes the expansion of CPEC to Afghanistan, it will mean that India is basically not in favor of bringing the development into the Afghanistan, because many a times it has been said that development will trump the terrorism. However, if we go forward with the expansion, then we will be giving up our claim over the POK. So how India should deal into this situation?
Sir, our stand on BRI has been steadfast that the infrastructure investment is very non-transparent. The Chinese government is not accountable to the participant state, and I believe the stand is correct and it would be in favor of India. Sir, the CPEC would be extended to Peshawar Highway, and that might impact because sir, CPEC violates our sovereignty, sir. So we will voice our concerns against it, and so development infrastructure in Afghanistan can be done in a more transparent way. So other alternative mechanisms are suggested, sir.
Okay, if I tell you, into the recent periodic labor force survey, the unemployment rate, it has been said that it has went down to 4.8% from earlier 5.8%, the PLFS, the earlier one which was there.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you make out that what is the logic or how the unemployment has reduced even when we were facing the pandemic?
Sir, I cannot give the concrete conclusion, but I believe that the logic behind it, there are certain service sector jobs that are opened in terms of working from home. So in that aspect, maybe. And sir, the migrant workers have reached to their home state, and Manrega wages has also increased, sir. So informal labor participation has increased in agriculture sector, sir.
But service sector, it is a very minuscule part in terms of people that it is employing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and much of the people who have returned back, okay, into even many of them got under them Jinarega, but still, many of the people they got to, they failed to get the jobs. Okay, so little bit read more into it. It is more with respect to the methodology that has been adopted into the periodic labor force survey. They have used the methodology of usual status, and because of which this thing has changed. Okay,
Yes,
read on
thank
it.
you, sir, for the information.
Nisha, what do you mean by supply chain resilience initiative?
So, supply chain resilience mechanism is an initiative of India, Japan, and Australia to decouple their economy from China, sir, because these economies are very much dependent on China for their raw materials. And sir, we in the pandemic time, we have seen that it may hamper the security of the state in terms of its health. So, sir, supply chain resilient mechanism is to create a more transparent, more open engagement space between these three countries, so that their economic growth increases further, sir.
Okay, we all the time talk about decoupling from China, but do you think that practically it is possible to decouple from China, particularly for India?
Sir, India is very much dependent on China for many of its imports. However, sir, the recent mechanisms by government wherein we tried to increase our domestic production, and in the long term, I believe that, sir, decoupling does not mean total complete ban of trade. However, sir, for increasing our domestic production, so that decoupling becomes unnecessary, sir.
Nisha, my last question. You come from Haryana.
Yes, sir.
In Haryana, there is tradition of Raganis.
Yes, sir.
Now, many a time into the Raganis, there are many of the prejudicial, many of the stereotypic references which are there. Many a times oriented onto the gender, many a times oriented onto the caste. Don't you think that such kind of portrayal often leads to a negative socialization, particularly to the children?
Yes, sir. Earlier, there were many prejudices, and I have heard some of them, and they are very discriminatory against women. But, sir, again, as the socialization and awareness about more gender inclusion reaches to the grassroots level, that aspect is also seeing positive light, sir.
Positive how? Can you elaborate more?
Sir, the discriminatory lines that I heard about is less prevalent now when I sometimes listen to the Ragini, sir.
Okay, thank you, Nisha.
Thank you, sir.